We'll start with the Mangalacharana. Shri Harim Paramanandam,
Shri Harim Paramanandam,
Upadeshtaram Ishwaram,
Upadeshtaram Ishwaram,
Vyapakam Sarvalokanam,
Vyapakam Sarvalokanam,
Karanam Tam Namamyaham,
Karanam Tam Namamyaham.
Non-dual meditation, Nididhyasana. What is the role of meditation in Advaita Vedanta? Good way of understanding this is to contrast it with the role of meditation in yoga. In yoga, the role of meditation is very crucial, is very vital. Without that, knowledge is not possible, enlightenment is not possible. It is the main practice in yoga. Yoga, I mean Patanjali Yoga. Yoga is defined as Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodhana. Yoga is the stopping of the cessation of the vrittis of the mind, cessation of the movements of the mind. What are the movements of the mind? All, whatever movements you have. Thoughts, emotions, ideas, memories, sense of ego, all of it. These are all movements in the mind. It's mind alone. One good way of noticing is when you fall asleep. In one sense, I have to be careful here, in one sense all the vrittis of the mind are gone. So whatever was there when you are awake right now, these are all vrittis. Yoga is cessation of the vrittis of the mind, stopping the vrittis of the mind. Chitta vritti nirodha. Why will you do that? Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. When the witness consciousness, our real nature, is realized or appreciated as it is. Tada, when vrittis are negated, drashtu, of the witness, swarupe avasthanam, it remains in its real nature. Swami Vivekananda gave the example of a lake. When the waters of the lake are absolutely calm and water is clear also, you can see through to the bottom of the lake. Similarly, when the mind lake is absolutely calm and pure also, beyond the mind, behind the mind, so to say, underneath the mind, whatever you use, transcending the mind, the witness consciousness is there, that becomes clear. To whom? To the witness consciousness only. To you, the witness consciousness. Otherwise, if the mind is thinking, if you are not meditating, if you are not in samadhi, what happens? Vritti sarupyam itaratra, the fourth sutra in Yoga Sutra, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Otherwise, you become identified with your mind, the movements of the mind. Mind, there is anger, I am angry. You don't say, I am the witness consciousness illumining the vritti of anger in the mind. No, you say, I am angry. I am unhappy. I understand. I remember. All these are vrittis in the mind, and these are all illumined by the witness consciousness. And the witness consciousness gets identified with them. So you need to shut down the vrittis in the mind. In yoga, the paradigm is, our problem is restlessness of the mind, and solution is stillness of the mind. Easy to understand. For that stillness of the mind, meditation has been taught. But what is the purpose of meditation in Advaita Vedanta? For what reason would an Advaitin meditate? The reason is this. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Three components are there. In Vichara, you do Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. You listen to the teachings, you reason about it, get clarity about it. And then what happens is, there is knowledge. But one may say, जो हिंदी में कहते हैं कि पचा नहीं है, it has not been assimilated. You don't feel it's real. You don't feel you can lead your life on that basis. It still seems rather abstract. This seems very, very solid. To that knowledge which has been acquired through Shravana. Shravanat eva jnanam. Knowledge comes from Shravana. What we are doing now is acquiring that knowledge. Through Manana, what clarity has been attained. All doubts have been removed. No sandeha is there. Knowledge with doubt is no knowledge. So this is asandigdha, without any doubt. that knowledge which we have without any doubt, how to assimilate it until it becomes a living reality, until we can, as we say, you can cash it in, you get the benefits of it. Dharana also will be part of manana. So, there is a dharana in meditation also which will come. You have to hold on to it, stay with this knowledge which we have acquired until it becomes a living reality. Like Vivekananda says, tell yourself again and again, I am that, I am that. Tell yourself means you study it, you keep your mind on it until it tingles with every drop of your blood. Now all of those will come. So this is the goal of meditation in Advaita Vedanta. This is the goal of meditation in Advaita Vedanta. What is the goal? Assimilation of the knowledge. The knowledge is acquired already. Why I am repeating this is, the goal of meditation in Advaita Vedanta is not knowledge. Knowledge has already been acquired. In Patanjali Yoga, that samadhi, it will lead to a kind of knowledge, an intuitive knowledge called Viveka Khyati. Without that samadhi, you cannot get it. You have to go through that process. But here, you have to go through Shravana Manana until the knowledge is acquired, and that knowledge, you have to stay with that knowledge until it is without any, it becomes a living reality, it is assimilated, it feels as real as anything else. And you get benefit from it. You get the benefit from it. Another way it can be put in this way, that there are two problems. After you study Vedanta, after you say you have understood it, two problems. Asambhavana and Viparita Bhavana. Asambhavana means impossibility problem. I have heard Vedanta, but it doesn't seem real. It seems like a very fancy philosophy, that's all. Impossible. It is impossible. How am I Brahman? How is everything consciousness? It's impossible. Actually, it's a straightforward fact, but somehow we don't think it's possible. How? When you get the answers to this, you reason it through, the process is called manana. To remove asambhavana, to remove the impossibility problem, process is called manana. All sorts of questions, all sorts of investigations, then you begin to get clarity. The intellect at least will say, okay, I get it. I know what the teaching is, and I understand it also. I know what the teaching is, then Shravana is complete. I understand it completely, then Manana is complete. But even after this, you say, I can't live according to it. I'm still the same fellow. When something bad happens, I get upset. I'm supposed to get lasting fulfillment and bliss. I don't feel a little bit, I feel not much. So the result is not coming. What I hear, Jivan Mukta, how to become that Jivan Mukta? Even after the knowledge. So, Nididhyasana is prescribed. What will Nididhyasana do? It will remove this problem. It is called Viparita Bhavana, contrary tendencies. What is contrary tendency? I have realized I am consciousness, I am awareness. I have realized Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. Quite clear about it. But I behave still as if I am the body, Deha. Especially when it's something unpleasant, hunger is there. Then I feel first little food and then Vedanta. Or if somebody behaves badly with me, or if something I wanted did not happen, disappointment comes, annoyance comes, irritation and anger comes. Just like earlier it used to come, it is coming like that. Maybe a little less, but still it is coming. So after so much Vedanta also, and Shravana Manana also, knowledge also, I haven't changed my character. I'm Jnani, Vedanta Jnani. One sadhu said, Rota hua Jnani kisi ko pasand nahi hai. Jnani, after reading all of Vedanta, and you know all this, and after that many complaints. Many complaints. In Vedanta, in spiritual life, if you claim to be enlightened, if you claim to be spiritually advanced, one thing you have to give up, first and foremost, is the right to complain. I should be fine with just about everything in life. Personally, for myself, not for other society, definitely. I will do the best. But for myself, I should be fine. I should not be very upset. If I am very upset, minor, from time to time, little up and down can come, but quickly it should go away. There is a saying in Bengali, Sadhu Rag Jalet Dag, the anger of a monk, of a sadhu, is like a line drawn in running water. So if you draw a line in running water, what happens? Immediately, as you are drawing it, it disappears. So if anger comes as a vritti in the mind for some reason, it should also go away immediately. The knowledge that I am Brahman should be so clear, its effect should be felt in the mind immediately. Otherwise, line drawn in sand, line drawn in rock. People get angry and they will not forgive. Lifelong. So how will I achieve that? How will I get the result? These contrary tendencies, how will they be removed? For that, nididhyasana is prescribed. What is nididhyasana? Staying with the knowledge. Living with that knowledge. And that can be done with eyes closed and eyes open also. Yogic meditation has to be done with eyes closed. There is, and seated. You can do walking meditation. That's just because you get tired of sitting meditation. So you can do a little bit of walking meditation. But that walking meditation is also very mindful walking meditation. You can't do anything else while doing that. But Vedantic meditation can be done in any circumstance, more or less. You can sit and close your mind, close your eyes and quieten your mind and do Vedantic meditation. Or you can open your eyes and look around and do Vedantic meditation. You can walk around and work in the world and do Vedantic meditation. We chant it every day. Food. Before food. Brahma arpanam brahma vi brahma agno brahmana hutam brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. If you chant it now, you feel hungry. But it is not a chant meant for food. In Bhagavad Gita, what does it mean? It means everything is Brahman. The Vedic priest is doing the homa, yajna. Arpana means the wooden spoon with which the offerings are put in the fire. Priest is there, fire is there, the wooden spoon is there, ghee is there. And here Krishna is saying, Brahma Arpanam. The Arpana, the spoon, is Brahman. Shankaracharya in his commentary is more clear. He says, Nata Tarpanam, Tat Brahma eva. It's not a spoon, it is Brahman, it's pure consciousness. Brahma Agno, the fire which is blazing, is not fire, it is consciousness, it's Brahman. If anybody has doubt, hey, fire bhi hai or Brahma bhi hai, fire ko bhi rakhiye. Shankaracharya says, no, Nata Agni, that is not fire, that is Brahman, from an enlightened person's perspective. Brahmana Hutam, the priest is offering, the priest is also Brahman. The action of offering is also Brahman. And in this way, the one who sees Brahman in all actions, Brahma Karma Samadhi. Brahma Karma Samadhi is not a special type of Samadhi, it's a person who sees Brahman in the midst of all activities. One who is speaking is Brahman, one who is listening is Brahman, the speech is Brahman, the instrument through which the speech is going is Brahman. This is the meaning of Brahma Arpanam Brahmavi. This is also Vedantic meditation. With eyes open, actively engaged in the world, you can't do yogic meditation like that. There is a sutra in Brahma Sutras. Asino Sambhavat, which means meditation is possible while sitting. That means being in quietness, in stillness, yogic meditation. But Vedantic meditation is possible in the middle of action also. So, this is Vedantic meditation. Purpose, technically, precisely to remove viparita bhavana, to assimilate the knowledge, to encash the knowledge. So how can I use it and get benefit in my day-to-day life? So I will not go be a rota hua jnani, a jnani who is complaining and grumbling. So how to do that? Vedantic meditation. A special name is given. It is dhyana only, but for Vedanta a special name is given, nididhyasana. The old name. Old name. It comes from the Upanishad. Nididhyasitavya. Atmavare drashtavya, shrotavya, mantavya, nididhyasitavya. This is my dear one, the Atman is to be realized, to be seen, literally says to be seen. How? Shrotavya, listen to these teachings of the Upanishads. I don't understand. Mantavya, reason it out, you will understand. And then nididhyasitavya, dwell on this knowledge. Then it will become a real thing for you. It will become real for you. Alright. Now in different texts, some hints at Vedantic meditation are given, but in Aparokshanubhuti, detailed description, whole section is there on Vedantic meditation. We will touch upon it a little bit, and there is a unique approach in Aparokshanubhuti which is not found elsewhere. where he does what he does is he contrasts yogic meditation and Vedantic meditation. He contrasts, the author Shankaracharya contrasts yogic meditation with Vedantic meditation. I think one reason might be to give a clearer idea of Vedanta. Yogic meditation we are generally familiar with. Even if we don't do it, anybody who has some idea of meditation, even if the person does not do it, you are thinking about yogic meditation. Sitting quietly, eyes closed, either repeating a mantra or visualizing something or following the breath in Buddhism also. Even the whole Buddhism has very sophisticated systems of meditation. But they all come from yogic meditation. Bhagavan Buddha himself later says that he went to two great teachers before he practiced himself, Uddalaka Ramaputta and Alara Kalama. So, and if he gives some description of what they were teaching him. And if you look at the teachings, they are like a Sankhya, proto-yoga, just core of yogic practices are there. So he learned Sankhya, he learned yoga. So in all these meditations, you keep your eyes closed or half open and you sit, you calm down the body, be still. And that we can do in Vedantic meditation also, or you may not. So, now, this system of Vedantic meditation details he has given here. We will see a few samples. That's all we have time for. But you will get a clear idea of what is Vedantic meditation and how is it different from yogic meditation. First of all, he will give us the names of 15 steps of yogic meditation. We have heard of 8 steps or 8 limbs. Ashtanga yoga. Ashtanga yoga. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. 8. There are 8 limbs or 8 steps, 8 components. It's one system with 8 components. And we start with Yama Niyama, and the goal is to reach Samadhi. So Yama and Niyama are moral disciplines, do's and don'ts. Lead a clean life. Lead a moral life. Without that, meditation is not possible. Why? Why are you concerned about my moral life? I can do whatever I want. Just teach me meditation. That story I told you, the yogi. The student went to the yogi and said, "Dhyan sikhaiye. Satya bolo, ahimsa. ये सब पता है हमको. आप हमको ध्यान सिखाइए, प्राणायाम सिखाइए, आसन सिखाइए." And what did that teacher say? आप अष्टांग योग सीखेंगे या विकलांग योग सीखेंगे? Because the yoga has 8 limbs. Are you going to leave 2 limbs out of it? Another person went, he has stories among the sadhus here. One Sethji went to a Mahatma and said, "Aap dhyan sikhaiye Mahatma ji. Asan sikhaiye, dhyan sikhaiye." So that sadhu said, first of all, Satya, Truth. Then that Sethji said, "Oh, ये सब हमको पता है, आप सिखाइए हमको, ध्यान सिखाइए." Then the sadhu said, "Black money पर आसन बिछाओगे, ध्यान होगा सेठ जी." You'll hide black money under your bed. Nowadays it's all digital, but and hiding black money under your bed and you put asan on top of it and meditate, ध्यान होगा? नहीं होगा. Because this is a very subtle thing. My own mind will disturb me. So my conscience has to be clean. My mind has to be pure and relaxed and simple. Very simple. It's usually unethical people, immoral people who are complex. Good people are simple. Sri Ramakrishna used to give great value to simplicity. He would say, "Go and see that person. Dekho koto sarol. See how simple he is." And he would say, "Shesh jan mein manush sarol hai." So far he would say, in the last birth the person becomes a simple person. Simple, straightforward. People are afraid, if I am simple, others will take advantage of me. No, it's the other way around. There's a saying, nothing confounds the clever so much as simplicity. Clever people become confused when they meet a simple person. They don't know what to do with that person. Simple is not foolish. I've seen it's a common characteristic of just about all of our senior Swamis. Most of them. Very simple people. But they understand everything. much more than the other person who is in front. It's like grandfather or grandmother. The children are coming and pretending this way and that way. You know, the grandmother knows what this person, the child wants to say. But it's a joy for the grandparents to play with the child. Is thinking, I'm fooling my grandpa or grandma. That's the play. So I've seen many of the senior sadhus are like that. They understand us very well, but they are very compassionate. They're very compassionate, very kind. So Yama, Niyama, those are part of Ashtanga Yoga. After the Ashtanga Yoga, seven more practices have been added by Shankaracharya here. Total 15. Let's see. By reading this, you will get actually, if you read the whole section, we are not going to read the whole section. If you read the whole section, you will get a clear idea of yogic meditation and Advaitic meditation also. So each one, you have to understand the yogic meaning, the original meaning, and the new interpretation given by Shankaracharya. Absolutely different interpretation. Now first let us look at the list of 15. Verse number 102. 15 steps of yogic meditation and also Vedantic meditation. Yamo hi niyamastyago. Maunam deshascha kalata. Asanam mulabandhascha. Deha samyam cha drikstitihi. Prana sanyamanam chaiva. Pratyaharascha dharana. Atmadhyanam samadhischa. Proktanyangani vaikramat. 15 steps. So, what are these 15? I'll read out each one and translate. If you hear the translation also, we will understand more or less what the practice is. Yama, which is the control of the senses, yes said. Yama and Niyama actually are moral practices. Do's and don'ts. So, moral practices which lead to control of the senses. Yama and Niyama. Then Tyaga, renunciation. Then number 4 is Maunam, silence. Then number 5 is Desha, space or proper place. You understand, proper place for meditation. Then number 6 is Kala, proper time for meditation. Then Asanam, sitting. Moola Bandha, those who practice Hatha Yoga, they will know. When you practice asanas, some advanced teachers will tell you there are certain muscles you should lock in the body. The power of the asana increases, which becomes more effective. So that is the Moola Bandha is locks, muscle locks in the body. But then of course, Vedanta will give you another meaning. Then number 9, Deha Samyam, posture of the body. You are sitting, but what is the posture? Posture of the body. Drikstitihi, where do you fix your eyes? There, here, eyes closed, what? The Drikstitihi, where you fix your vision. Then 11, Pranayama or Prana Samyamana. Pranayama is control of the breath. Then Pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses. Then Dharana, focus. Then Dhyanam, that focus will deepen into meditation. And that meditation will by itself deepen into Samadhi. 15 steps. Some of them you can see are Ashtanga Yoga and the rest have been introduced from other Hatha Yoga texts. They are all well known in Hatha Yoga. So 15 have been introduced. Now each one he will proceed systematically to subvert. He will change the meanings of each one to give a Vedantic meaning. We will just see for sample a few. Then I'll give some concluding remarks. Then we'll have Q&A. Yama and Niyama. See how he changes this. We'll first see Yama and Niyama. 104 and 105. What is Yama? This is a term borrowed from yoga. Yama means Satya, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya, then Asteya, Aparigraha. 5 practices. These are important for the yogi, as a foundational practice for the yogi. First one is truth. Sri Ramakrishna gave tremendous emphasis on this. This is one tapasya alone is in Kali Yoga. If you practice this much on, try to hold on to the truth. Carefully stick to the truth. Mon mukh act karo. What is in the mind and what is in the speech should be one. The speech should reflect the truth as far as you know it. And speak your mind and do what you say, that you do also. So this emphasis on truth, Sri Ramakrishna has given tremendous emphasis. After all, we are trying to find the reality of the universe. We keep saying Sat, Satchidananda, Sat, which is being, existence, reality. And in our day-to-day life, if we cannot hold on to the truth, our daily truth, I consciously divide from it, I consciously deviate from it, from truth into falsehood. How can I then not deviate from Sat? I will always be trapped in Maya. So, truth. Then, non-violence. Very important. Ahimsa. So associated in our day and age, as Mahatma Gandhi was an exemplar of non-violence. See, not only in personal life, it may be easy to be non-violent. If you are a monk living by yourself in the Himalayas or in an ashram, violence is not expected of you. You can practice. But in the middle of the world, fighting for independence of India against a very unjust foreign rule, there also to be non-violent. Not only yourself, expect others to be non-violent also. What a great example. I remember one letter in which Mahatma Gandhi's followers, he would insist on truth, non-violence, brahmacharya, celibacy. Now those of his Satyagraha followers, they are all politicians mostly, or freedom fighters, very genuine people. They were a little puzzled. They were saying, we understand you have to be truthful. We also understand non-violence because you are fighting against a powerful empire, British Empire. So non-violence is a good strategy, but why practice these other things? They may be meant for yogis. We are householders, we are living in the world, we are not trying to get God realization, we just want our country to be independent. So why brahmacharya, aparigraha, all those things, why should we practice? Such a question was there. And Mahatma Gandhi said something very interesting about these 5, yama. He said they don't realize, if you practice them together, it is easier. If you try to practice one without the others, you will not succeed. Try to tell lies and be non-violent? No. To defend one's lies, you have to become violent at one point. So every one of those, immoral life, and I will lead my immoral life, I will do whatever I want, but I will stick to the truth. Very difficult, impossible. I will stick to the truth and lead a moral life. Both will support each other. They will strengthen each other. So these practices, they go well together. It's because none of them they are easy, but if you practice them together, it's possible, it's practical. If you try to separate them, very difficult, likely to fail. So all 5 are recommended. Then brahmacharya, sense control, control of the senses. Then asteya, non-stealing, not taking what is not one's own. And all of these practices can go very deep. It can start in a very practical way, don't take something which doesn't belong to you. But then you can think deeper, what belongs to me? Take only that which is necessary. Aparigraha, don't accumulate, don't take gifts unnecessarily. But what is the minimum that I need? More I think, less and less I need. My need becomes less and less. People realize this after some amount of maturity. As we accumulate a lot of things in life, we feel, this is life, I can get more and more and more stuff. Then it becomes a burden, so much junk. And if you get rid of it, you feel relieved. Oh my God. 80% of it we don't need anyway. 90% of it we don't need. We never use. You put in the house. So, aparigraha, non-acceptance of gifts. If you accept gifts, what happens? What one might ask, especially in the West, there is a tradition of giving gifts. Especially Christmas. So it's a good thing, good thing. You give gifts, you receive gifts. You can't say, I will not take gifts. It's very impolite. If people are giving you gifts, you're supposed to be grateful. Thank you very much. And I'm giving gifts in return. So what is wrong in giving gifts? Or what is wrong in taking gifts? Remember, these are all prescribed because they have a subtle effect on the mind. The moment we accept things from others, a certain influence of the others comes on our mind. We may not be conscious of it immediately. We feel a kind of obligation the moment you get a gift. It's not difficult to detect. Every salesman knows this. Before they make a sale, they'll give you gifts. So at least you may have no time for that fellow, whatever he's selling. But if he gives you a free gift, you think at least sun lete hain iske baad. I will not buy, but sun lete hain. Then he will listen. Maybe give him a cup of tea also. Then he will be very nice. But you are ready. I will not buy whatever vacuum cleaner or whatever he's selling. I will not buy. But he's clever. He knows. If you give a gift, obligation. So this vacuum cleaner, no, I don't need it. No, you don't have to buy it. I just leave it. यार छोड़ देते हैं आपके घर में. आप just use करिए एक दो बार. आप वापस कर दीजिएगा. So, in most cases, they know the salesman, the person will buy it. Not because the person really likes it, one feels obliged little more and more. So, every time you take a gift, it puts an influence on our mind, especially for yogis. I'll tell you a story from Swami Sarvapriyananda, whom we heard about in the morning. So, he was in this ashram, Shankaracharya ashram, in Bengal. Very old, he was quite sick. He needed a walking stick to walk with. And one gentleman, a devotee, decided to present the Swami with a walking stick. Very fine walking stick he bought, and he presented it to the Swami. Swami said, I don't need it. So, no, Maharaj, please take it. No, I don't need it. The man understood. I don't want anything, Swami. Nothing in return. So just take it, I'll be happy. Just take it and do whatever you want. And the Swami said, whatever I want. Yes, just take it. In Bengali he says, Tale bhenge di. Let me break it here in front of you. And he looked shocked. Why did you look shocked? If it was somebody else's stick, somebody broke a stick, you will say, somebody is breaking a stick. But this one, if I am breaking in front of you, you look so shocked, unhappy. So why? Because even when you are giving a gift, there is a subtle expectation. I am doing something for somebody. Minimum gratitude, a little smile and thank you, and that person should say. See, expectation is always there. Better not to take gifts if you don't want it. Silly story, but I remember I gave this example in most inappropriate time. Many years ago, I'd gone to an ashram, another Swami. He gave me a book, which I said, I don't want. He said, no, take it. Then I told this story about, let me break the stick. Swami was so hurt. He said, all right, if you want to tear the book, you can tear it. I said, no, I don't want to tear it. I just remembered the story. That's why I told it. So, but that is Yamaha. Satya, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, Asteya, Aparigraha.
Return gift nullifies?
Return gift, that's why you feel pressurized to give return gift. That's how the system works, and the economy develops that way. People will buy and give gifts.
What is Asteya?
Asteya, non-stealing. Stena is stealing, non-stealing. Non-taking of what is not yours. And aparigraha is what is being offered to you also that you don't take, unless you need it. So for monks, for example, for us, we live entirely on Bhiksha. So it's always told to us that never take more than what is required. Because it comes from the hard-earned money of the householders. So never take more than what is required. Otherwise you pay back. Here in Uttarakhand, they will know very well that, so the story is this. One monk, as usual, there are so many, the same tradition is there. One great tradition of Uttarakhand is, if a monk goes to a house, especially in the villages, they will always feed. I myself experienced this. They will always feed. Any house you go, whether they are poor, not so poor, whatever it is, they will offer some food. Bhiksha they will give. Now, one sadhu came and in one house, the husband, farmer, he did not like that his wife would keep on giving food to the sadhus. One day a sadhu had come and the lady was giving some food to the sadhu and the husband was criticizing, how do you know he's a good sadhu? Why are you unnecessarily encouraging these fellows? How do you know? So then she said, if he is a real sadhu, by offering this food, we will get great blessings, great punya. And if he is a dongi, he is not a real sadhu, अगले जन्म में हमारा बैल बनकर ये he will become a बैल, he will become and plow our fields. Our fields, he will plow our fields. He is accepting food without doing his sadhana. If he does that, it will come back. So I will get my return anyway. Now, what does Shankaracharya say? Number 104. Sarvam Brahmeti Vijnanat. Sarvam Brahmeti Vijnanat. Indriyagrama Sanyamaha. Indriyagrama Sanyamaha. Yoyam iti. Yamoyam iti samprokto. Yamoyam iti samprokto. Abhyasaniya muhurmuhu. Abhyasaniya muhurmuhu. The restraint of all the senses by means of such knowledge as all this is Brahman is rightly called Yama, which should be practiced again and again. Instead of saying Satya, Brahmacharya, Ahimsa, he says, center yourself in the one consciousness which is appearing as the universe. Whatever you experience, whomever you meet, whatever you do in the world, it is that one consciousness alone. Sarvam Brahmeti Vijnana. By that itself your senses will be controlled. What is the purpose of Yama and Niyama? Control of the senses. Controlled life, disciplined life. Automatically disciplined life will come. You don't have to separately practice Satya, Ahimsa, one by one, tick mark. No. This realization which we have done so far, this knowledge, center yourself in this knowledge. Stay with this knowledge. Continuously practice only one thing, that everything is Brahman. And sense control will be automatic. In one of the most famous mantras of the Upanishads, Ishopanishad, the first mantra is most famous. I was mentioning Mahatma Gandhi. He had said that if all of Hinduism were to disappear, but if this first line of Ishopanishad, if it's still there, then all of Hinduism is still there. What is this first line? Isha vasyam midagam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena jaktena bhunjitha madridhakkasya svidhanam. By the Lord, everything in this world, moving and unmoving, is pervaded. Isha vasyam, covered. Everything is covered in Brahman. Everything is covered in one existence, consciousness, bliss. And stay with this knowledge. Protect this knowledge. Do not covet anybody else's wealth. Magida kasya svidhanam. So first of all, Shankaracharya gives a very deep analysis of this first line. That everything is Brahman. This is the central idea of Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma. Only when one Brahman is. In Advaita Vedanta, very directly it is said in this way. But in every other, in Bhakti traditions also. So my Krishna or my Rama or my Kali is everywhere. My mother is everywhere. The divinity is everywhere. Shankaracharya says, it has to be, the original word is cover everything by Brahman or Isha. Shankaracharya says, cover means uncover. It is already there. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप कपड़ा से ढक दोगे. ये जगत है, उसको कपड़ा से ढक दो, ब्रह्म से ढक दो. Although the word itself means achchadaniya, means to cover. But to cover means जो है उसको uncover करो. How do you uncover? Shankaracharya says discover. How will you discover? So he gives an example. Chandan, sandal paste. So in the temple, they know, those who work in the temple, they know that the sandal paste, if you leave it out, especially in the water, it will get a kind of a covering, like a layer on top. That has to be scrubbed off. Then the sandal paste fragrance will come. Nigharshana, rubbing the sandal paste, Shankaracharya says in his bhashya. And then already the natural fragrance of sandal paste which is there, which will just become manifest. Similarly, by Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Is this on? Doesn't seem to be on. Hello?
It's on.
Something went off.
কারেন্ট চলে যাওয়াতে কিছু একটা
Just try. Just switch off and on. Otherwise, is this one? I can speak from there. No, supply up again. All right, what I can do is, I have a loud enough voice, so oh my God, now all the system is off, but I can speak from here.
Vasya is covering.
Huh? Vasya means achadaniya, means covering. Shankaracharya explains. Isha vasyam. Vasyam achadaniya. Achchadan करना जो हिंदी में भी है. आप आच्छादित कर दीजिए, ढक दीजिए. But ढक देना means uncovering. Shankaracharya says वो जो चंदन की जो नेचुरल फ्रेग्रेंस है, सुगंध है, वो ढक गया है as if. And the way to remove it is, उस पे आप सैंडलवुड स्प्रे मत डालिए. उसका अपना फ्रेग्रेंस है, उसको निकालिए by rubbing. By this continuous process of Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan, by this inquiry, our natural fragrance as the non-dual Brahman will come out. It seems to be covered over by this duality, by this samsara, subject-object. Yeah. So that will come up. And then he says, how will this sense control come? He says, it's back. Can you? Now it's back. How will the sense control come? Magrida kasya svidhanam. The Isha Upanishad just gives an indication. Do not covet anybody else's wealth. Shankaracharya there he explains that do not covet any wealth means anything at all in this world. Swasya va parasya in the bhashya. Whether your own or whether other. That means that this non-wanting about anything in the world, because you see everything as this one Brahman. What else do you want? Everything is yours already. You are everything. And then he goes even further. There is nothing to covet. What wealth is there to covet? Because it is just an appearance in Brahman. If you see something wonderful in a movie, that particular object, that food, will you covet that? You know it's a picture only. There is no food there. There is no fancy gadget there. It just looks like that. So, Sarvam Brahmeti Vijnanat. Sarvam Brahmeti Vijnanat. Indriya Grama Sanyamanam. All your indriyas are controlled. You can see this is a different approach. It is Vedantic Nididhyasan because in order to control the senses also you stay with the knowledge I am Brahman. Everything is Brahman. That's it. Niyama. In yogic niyama what is there? Shaucha, cleanliness. Santosha. What else is there? Then Ishvara Pranidhana, worship of God. Tapaha. Then Swadhyaya. These are all there. 5 practices are there in yogic, the niyama. Niyama means rule, basically rule. Things to be done. Things to be done. Shaucha, cleanliness. We all learned cleanliness is next to godliness. Then that means physical cleanliness but also mental hygiene internally. Shaucha, santosha, contentment with regard to the world. Discontent with regard to God. Why am I not, my meditation is not deep? Why am I not getting bhakti for God? Why will God not appear before me? This discontent. About the world, what is going on is fine. I have got enough maturity to know. In Hindi they say, 19-20. It will be a little better, little worse. ऐसे ही चलेगा. And ultimately after some time it will get worse. Old age, disease, death will come and it will be finished. So nothing much to expect from the world. This is a sign of maturity. Santosha, contentment with regard to the world. ठीक है भाई. But with regard to God, we do the opposite. We are very contented about God. I have left everything to God. I have surrendered. वो जैसे करेंगे क्या तुम्हारा ध्यान जप ये क्या जरूरत है, उनकी इच्छा से ही होगी सब कुछ. And I'm mostly busy with the world. Children, grandchildren, money, politics, all of this I'm busy with. Contentment. Then Swadhyaya, regular. Actually, originally it meant Vedic chanting, but you can take it as scriptural study, regular scriptural study. Then Ishvara Pranidhana, Tapa, some kind of austerity. Some people do Ekadashi, lots of things like fasting, staying awake on Shivaratri, or more than that, staying awake and meditating late in the night or doing japa, things like that. Discipline. Basically, consciously taking control of our body, mind and senses. Body always wants aram. It's basically tamasic. So it just wants to settle down. The more you give into it, more sarvanash. So it's better to keep the body lean and fit. And so for that, tapasya is necessary. And then there is Ishvara Pranidhana, worship of God. This is yogic meditation. They are also in the niyama they have put in regular worship. Your deity worship should continue. Now what does Shankaracharya say? Niyam in Hindi, Bengali, Indian languages, niyam means rule. Niyam. In our ashram in Deoghar, one of the cooks used to serve food also. We used to call him Niyamda. क्योंकि आप उससे कुछ भी मांगेंगे, अरे एक और चपाती दे दो भाई, नियम नहीं है. नियम नहीं. So we named him Niyamda. Niyama, do's. Now look at Shankaracharya, what does he say? Sajatiya pravahascha vijatiya tiraskritihi niyamo hi paranando niyamakriyate budhehi. This continuous flow of only one kind of thought to the exclusion of all other kinds of thoughts is called niyama, which is verily the supreme bliss and is regularly practiced by the wise. He lets go of all of that. Shaucha, santosha, no. You do only one thing. Hold on to this one thought, aham brahmasmi, and continuously let go of that body thought. You see, we did that in the morning today. If you go to verse number 25, from 24 to 28, that's what we did. Brahmevaham samashanta satchidananda lakshana naham deho yasadrupo yanam mityuchyate budhehi. So, he says, sajatiya pravahascha. Vritti, thinking will continue. But what type of thoughts? They are all similar type of thoughts. All thoughts belonging to one family. What is the family of thoughts? I am Brahman. Sajatiya vritti. Look at the first line. Aham Brahma eva. Aham Samaha eva. Aham Shanta eva. Aham Satchidananda Lakshana. Each one is a separate vritti. I am Brahman. I am the same always. Same consciousness always. I am peace. There is no samsara in me. I am only one consciousness. I am existence. I am awareness. I am bliss. These are all different vrittis, but they all belong to the same family, Sajatiya. Each one of those lines, and the first line in each one of them. Number 25, 26, 27, these are examples of Sajatiya vritti. Not just for chanting, thinking it, noticing. Yes, this is true. And what will you deny? He says, Vijatiya vritti tiraskriti, Vijatiya tiraskriti. Vrittis, thoughts about the other types of thoughts, which are body-centered thoughts. Deny that. Naham deho asadrupo. Continuously deny those thoughts. If those thoughts come, no. This will take effort. It's an activity. And as we act in the world, we must think carefully. In what way am I acting? All actions can be done with the thought, aham brahmasmi. I told you, Brahmarpanam Brahmavi, that Brahmarpanam Brahmavi can be applied to every action in our world. Nothing will stop. You can go to office, you can cook, you can eat, you can take a bath, you can walk, talk, sleep, whatever you can do. All of it can be done with the thought, I am Brahman. Now we are doing it with the thought, I am body. With an unexamined thought. Not that we are consciously thinking, we are behaving like that. So, Vijatiya Vritti Pravaha, a stream. You will forget. Yes, you will forget. Again start. This is the practice. This is called Niyama according to Vedanta. Vedantic meditation Niyama. Now did you notice one thing? What is Yama is also Niyama according to Shankaracharya. What is the Yama? Sarvam Brahmaiti Vijnana. What is Niyama? Aham Brahmasmi continuously. Naham Deya Sadrupa. Isn't it the same thing? He's telling us to practice the same thing. Now you will see all the 15 steps. They are all different in yoga, very different. All the 15 steps are exactly the same in a Vedantic meditation. After some time you will see he's telling us basically the same thing again and again and again. But in Hatha Yoga, these are all different steps. Sitting is one type of practice. Breathing properly, pranayama is another type of practice. Where to keep the vision is another type of practice. Posture is another type of practice. These are all different components in yogic meditation. And yogic meditation is not complete until you do all 15. There is no choice. It's a complete system. And these are all components of that system. So to do yogic meditation, all 15 have to be practiced. To do Vedantic meditation, any one or more or all. Anyone, as you please. Yatra yatra mano yati tatra tatra samadhaya. In Vedantic meditation. In whichever form you practice, you will attain that, you will stay with Aham Brahmasmi. Now let me do one more. The third one, interesting. Tyagaha, renunciation. Renunciation. 106. Tyaga prapancha rupasya.
Tyaga prapancha rupasya.
Chidatmatva valokanat.
Chidatmatva valokanat.
Tyago hi mahatam pujya.
Tyago hi mahatam pujya.
Satyo moksha mayo yataha.
Satyo moksha mayo yataha.
The abandonment of the illusory universe by realizing it as the all-conscious Atman is the real renunciation honored by the great, since it is of the nature of immediate liberation. Alright, so what is Tyaga? Renunciation. आप सब छोड़ छाड़ के योगी बन के हिमालय चले जाइए, अल्मोड़ा चले आइए, अब त्याग हो गया, सब त्याग कर दिया. Swami Vivekananda has said, in fact Upanishads themselves say, while renunciation, spirituality and renunciation go together. Unfortunately in the modern world, you can say West but here also in India, in the modern world, modern spirituality, people don't talk about Tyaga. It's unfashionable. I want everything here, plus also Brahman, Atman, God, whatever is available, everything also I want. But they cannot go together. Swami Vivekananda has said, it's a turning point in all the yogas. I mentioned it. Did I mention it?
Yes.
The Tyaga of Karma Yoga, the Tyaga of Bhakti Yoga, the Tyaga in not Tyaga of Karma Yoga, Tyaga in Karma Yoga, not Karma Yoga. Tyaga in Karma Yoga, Tyaga in Bhakti Yoga, Tyaga in Raja Yoga, and Tyaga this one, Tyaga in Jnana Yoga. In Karma Yoga, the Karma Yogi sacrifices all personal selfishness, tries to, and serve others in the spirit that God is present. I am serving God in all human beings. Selfless. That is the Tyaga of Karma Yogi. Bhakti Yogi, so many desires in the world. I take all those desires and focus it in, as Vivekananda says, one almighty love of God. I am paraphrasing his words. And the Tyaga of Yogi, Yogic Tyaga, is the Tyaga of all worldly experience. My eyes and ears, they want to hear and contact the world. I will not allow. I will close my eyes and shut my ears. I will shut out the world. I don't want to hear, smell, taste, touch. I don't even want to think. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. That's a Tyaga. You're giving up Tyaga of world experience. But Tyaga of Jnana Yogi, Shankaracharya says here. The Tyaga of Jnana Yogi is to give up the whole universe Tyaga of the whole universe. How? Realizing the whole universe to be Brahman. This itself. And he says, this will lead to moksha immediately. The other tyaga will krama, slowly it will lead to moksha. Without tyaga, no moksha. Upanishad says, tyagena eke amritatvam anasho. Some attain to immortality through tyaga. So this tyaga, it has nothing to do, Geruva is a symbol of tyaga. But anybody who is spiritual, internally becomes a tyagi. But this Vedantic tyaga is very interesting. In the midst of everything, in the midst of Kurukshetra also, Arjuna can become a Mahatyagi. This is most practical for everybody. Whoever you are, wherever you are, in whatever profession, whatever activity, this can be practiced. Now why I wanted to talk about this, by seeing everything as Brahman, Chidatmatva, seeing everything as consciousness. I, the Chidatma. Chit means consciousness, Atma means I, the self. I, the consciousness, am this universe. This universe which I desire so much is what actually? It is I. Immediately all desires will go away. So I am telling this because I want to tell a story. That's why I picked this one up. Very nice story. And this is the right place to use that story. The story is the Princess of Kashi. Some of you may have heard. So I like it very much. Some of the sadhu here have told me. In Uttar Kashi or Gangotri. The Princess of Kashi is like this. Many, many years ago, in the long time in the past, in some kingdom, there was a king and a queen, and their little son, the prince, and in their court, there was a play, natak, theatrical performance. And in the play, one of the roles was Princess of Kashi. Princess of Kashi, Kashi Desh ki Rajkumari. Who will play the Kashi Desh ki Rajkumari? Was supposed to be a little girl in that play. The queen said, wait a minute, my son, the prince of this kingdom, my son is a little boy, he's about that age. You can dress him up like a girl, a princess, and he will play the role. And so that was done. They dressed the little prince as the Princess of Kashi, and he played the role. And he looked so cute, his mother, the queen, said, make a portrait, painting of him in that dress. These days, selfie or mobile. In those days, he has to sit in that dress and the painter will court artist will come and paint. So that was done. Now many years passed, 15, 16 years, that prince has now become the young man, the young prince, the crown prince of the country, doing all princely things. Then one day he was exploring the palace. He goes in the basement of the palace and old things he's looking around and he finds an old painting and he rubs the dust from the painting and he looks at that girl in the painting and he falls in love. He sees the title Princess of Kashi, date also. Then he realizes, oh, 15 years ago this painting was made. She is my age. And he falls in love with her. And he feels, I must marry the Princess of Kashi. Now he cannot tell anybody, he's feeling shy. His father and mother, king and queen, are very worried. What is happening to the prince? He has lost all interest in everything. Finally, the old minister calls him aside and says, Prince, what is worrying you? Please tell me. Man ki baat bolo. So the prince says that I am in love. Oh, good. Who is the lucky girl? She is the Princess of Kashi. Oh, princess, very good, proper match. Yeah, you're a prince, she's a princess, very good. Where did you meet her? Oh, I didn't meet her. I saw her picture. It's an old picture, but I saw her picture. But I have fallen in love with her and I want to marry her only. Then the minister remembered something. Picture, Princess of Kashi. Where? Where did you see this? Downstairs in a basement. Take me there. So the prince took the minister there and showed, this is the Princess of Kashi and I will marry only, if I am marrying, I am going to marry only this Princess of Kashi. Then the minister saw and remembered and he said, Rajkumar ji, baith jao. This is not the Princess of Kashi. So theek hai, jo bhi hai, usse main shaadi karunga. He said, no. Then he explained the whole story. 15 years ago, there was a theatrical performance in our court and the role of Princess of Kashi, your mother, Her Highness the Queen, said to dress you up as the princess of Kashi. You have no memory. You are only 5 years old at that time. This is not the princess of Kashi. This is you actually. Tattvamasi. You are that. Now what happened to the prince's desire for the princess of Kashi? Gone. Immediately gone. How? Gone? Why? Because the princess of Kashi does not exist. That's why no desire. No. Or she has married somebody else. That's why no desire. No. It is because ekatva. That is me. What is there to desire there? It seems separate from me. But the princess of Kashi is actually I am that. Chidatmatva avalokanat prapancha rupasya tyagaha. The entire universe is you. It is your princess of Kashi. It is our princess of Kashi. Swami Vivekananda says the world is dead in itself. We breathe life into it, and either we run away from it or we run after it. We get scared of it or we run after it. We get tempted by it. But all the time it is you only. You means what you? Chidatma, Atma, you, self. But what self? Not body. Chidatma, consciousness. You as the awareness of Avalokana. And this Tyaga, he says, Tyago hi mahatam pujya. This Tyaga is respected by the great. Why? Sadhyo mokshamayo yataha. If you do this Tyaga, if you look upon the world as I, the consciousness. Shankaracharya, when he says Ishavasyam idam sarvam, literally Isha is God. So everything, the world is pervaded by God. Ishavasyam. Then Shankaracharya, he gradually shifts the meaning. Ishavasyam Paramatmana. By the Supreme Self, the world is pervaded. Alright. Paramatma is your own Atma. Swena Atmana Vasyam. By you, the world is pervaded. See where it has gone. From Ishavasyam to you. You pervade this entire world. This is Sadhyo Moksha Mayo Yataha. This immediately leads to moksha. Moment you do this Tyaga, moksha is guaranteed. Right then. One more I will do. Stop. Here some of Shankaracharya's humor is defined. Next practice is silence, maunam. So, silence is highly recommended because a great deal of energy goes out in talking. I know, I talk a lot. So, a great deal of energy goes out in talking. That's why many people, they observe some silence. Mahatma Gandhi used to observe once in a week silence, one day in a week, would not talk. Swami Ranganathan ji at one time used to observe, he was a great orator, speaker, teacher of Vedanta. He would observe one day a week, he would not talk. And many others, they observe the vow of silence. It conserves energy. It conserves energy. So, silence is a great practice and many yogis do it. If you practice silence, then meditation becomes easier. If you talk a lot, meditation will not be easy. The mind will be completely disturbed if you talk a lot. Total silence is not recommended. It leads to suppression. I will not talk at all. How long? 1 year. People do that, but it leads to depression. I've seen such people who are not talking 1 year, 2 years, but they talk at night when they're sleeping. Or they will write something. Still communicating, not talking physically, but writing something. Or once they come out of the vow of silence after 1 year or 2 years, then they cannot stop talking. So much talking is built up inside. So what is the solution? They say hitam cha mitam cha satyam cha. Tell the truth, speak the truth, and speak what is beneficial, and speak what is limited. Not much. Put it in a few words. Precise. Speak precisely. Now, what is the Vedantic practice of silence? Now you know. Aham Brahmasmi. That it must be that only. So let's see. Number 103, 107, 107, 108, 109. I just read all of them together. Yasmad vacho nivartante.
Yasmat vacho nivartante.
Aprapya manasa saha.
Aprapya manasa saha.
Yanmaunam yogi virgamyam.
Yanmaunam yogi योग्यम्
तद्भवेत् सर्वदा बुधः
तद्भवेत् सर्वदा बुधः
वाचो यस्मात् निवर्तन्ते
वाचो यस्मात् निवर्तन्ते
तद्वक्तुं केन शक्यते
तद्वक्तुं केन शक्यते
प्रपञ्चो यदि वक्तव्य
प्रपञ्चो यदि वक्तव्यः
सोऽपि शब्दविवर्जितः
सोऽपि शब्दविवर्जितः
इति वा तद्भवेत् मौनम्
इति वा तद्भवेत् मौनम्
सतां सहजसङ्गितम्
सतां सहजसङ्गीतम्
गिरा मौनं तु बालानां
लीला मौनं तु बालानां
प्रयुक्तं ब्रह्मवादिभिः
प्रयुक्तं ब्रह्मवादिभिः.
So, he says, Yasmad vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. That from which words return without attaining along with the mind. That means Brahman, your real nature, is not an object. It cannot be expressed in language. You cannot conceive of it with your mind. But you illumine the mind. Yenahur manomatam. Yan manasana manute. Yenahur manovatam. So, that which cannot be thought of by the mind, Kena Upanishad says. But that which is objectified by the mind. Consciousness illumines that. You illumine the mind. The mind cannot illumine you. So, yasmad vacho nivartante aprapya manasasa. That consciousness. It says, tad bhavet sarvada buddha. That silence which is beyond words, that consciousness. The enlightened one, the wise one should be that. You are that. Aham Brahmasmi, you be that. That is silence. Whether you speak words with your tongue or not, that is secondary. But your reality is silence itself because words cannot reach it. You see what he is saying? The mind cannot think about you. The words cannot express you. That one you are. Every day we sing Namo Namo Prabhu Vakya Manadita. And then of course next line Manovachanaika Adhara. We salute the Lord who is beyond language, who is beyond thought. What is that Lord? Pure consciousness. Atman, Brahman. You. Your real nature. And that consciousness, Manovachanaika Adhara. It is the basis of thought. It is the basis of all speech. Because of you, you should check. These things you can check immediately. Because I am this consciousness, I am consciousness. That's why thinking is possible. That's why speech is possible. Manovachanaika adhara. That silence you are. This is the practice. You are that silence. It's not something to be practiced at the level of the tongue. You can practice at the level of the tongue, but you are that silence. Then he goes again. Vacho yasmat nivartante. That from which words fail to express. Tad vaktum kena shakyate. If language cannot speak it, by what will you speak it? That ultimate reality. Prapancho yadi vaktavya. No, I am not speaking about Brahman. You are Vedantin, you are interested in Brahman, and Brahman cannot be expressed in language. Fine. But I am speaking about the world. He says, Prapancha kena yadi vaktavya sobi shabda vivarjita. The real nature of this world, has anybody understood? Whatever you say about the world, that's also going to be false. So one need not speak too much about the world. The very nature, if you study science, cutting edge physics, mathematics, in every field, you will end up with paradoxes. That's the state of science today. And the deeper you try to understand the essence of this world is also inexplicable. Iti va tad bhavet maunam satam sahaja sangita. So you are that silence, Satchidananda, beyond words, or you do not speak about that because it cannot be expressed in words. You do not speak about the world also because it is inexplicable, it's inexpressible. So this is the mauna of the wise, silence of the wise. What about the regular silence, mauna vrat? Baat nahi karenge. He says, here is the humor of Shankaracharya. Gira maunam tu balana. That is for children. He says, the silence of the tongue, I will not speak. Balanam, for children. Prayuktam Brahmavadivi. By the knowers of Brahman, they say it is a good practice for children. Talkative children, always going around talking, keep quiet. So when the teacher enters the kindergarten or the junior classes, primary, all shouting, running around. First thing the teacher shouts, silence. They sit quietly, not for long, but little while. Similarly, our senses, our mind, our tongue, continuously active, busy, restless. So you practice mauna, silence. So it will calm down. Then only meditation is possible. That is for children, he says. So this is our Shankaracharya. Every term in yogic meditation, he transforms it into Nididhyasana, Vedantic Nididhyasana. Another place later, humor is there, that talking about posture. Sits. So, how do you sit? In yoga, it's given, you have to sit straight with your Kaya, Shiro, Grivam, Dharayana, Chalan, in one line, the head and the spine, chest and waist, in one line it should be there. Not straight, naturally it's curved, but not bent. Shankaracharya says there, knowing oneself to be Samam Brahma, in every occasion, in every situation, you are the same, unchanging, homogeneous, one existence consciousness. That is the right posture. Sit there. What about sitting straight? He says, it is like, what the yogis practice is like a dry tree, sitting straight like that. Shushka Vriksha. Sitting straight like that. What is the use? Another place. Pranayama. There's no time to describe, but I will tell a little bit. Pranayama. So in yoga, pranayama is taught. Breath control is very important. It's important to get control of the mind directly is difficult. So if you control the breath, mind calms down. How do you control the breath? There's a whole sophisticated science of pranayama. The most simplest one is, it consists of Puraka, Kumbhaka, Rechaka. Filling in the air, holding the air and releasing the air. Then filling in again, holding it, again releasing. This is one pranayama. And it's fixed ratio of counts. The ratio is 4, 16, 8. And it is done like this. This is important to understand next what Shankaracharya says. Just for the humor of it. The actual yogic pranayama is this. You have to close the right nostril and then breathe in. I'm not teaching you, don't do that. Breathe in through the left nostril and you count 4. Deep breath. 4. Mentally you can count 1, 2, 3, 4. You can count Om, 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 Om 4 times. This is 1. Then you shut both. And then you count 16 Oms. Not just 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16. Don't rush. 16. Holding the breath. Then you release 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So intake is actually slower. Exhalation has to be deeper and longer to empty the lungs. So 8. Then you breathe in again. 4. Hold. 16. Release. 8. This is one pranayama. Breathing in is called Puraka. Holding is called Kumbhaka. Releasing is called Rechaka. Okay. This is standard pranayama. Anyone who practices yoga, Hatha yoga, they will know this. Now what Shankaracharya says, first you do is Puraka. What is the Puraka? Aham Brahmasmi. Stay there. Holding it there, I am Brahman. That is Kumbhaka. And what is Rechaka? Jagat Mithya. The world is an appearance. As you breathe out, the world is an appearance. As you breathe in, I am Brahman. As you hold the breath, stay there. I am consciousness and only consciousness. This awareness. And as you breathe out, the world, it is appearing. It's an appearance in consciousness. Right? So this is called Vedantic, Advaitic or Vedantic meditation. Now then the question is, what about the yogic, this one? This one? He says, oh that one, Grana Pidana, which is torturing the nose. You're torturing the nose, you're twisting the nose. So that is, Shankaracharya, you have to remember he was a teenage boy. 15, 16 years old at this time when he wrote all this. So he was humorous. Like a little boy is also mischievous. So little pulling the leg of the yogis. Later on, before concluding, he says, all these yogic practices are actually useful. At the beginning, they are all useful for calming the mind, for purifying the body, very useful. But what he is talking about is the highest Nididhyasana. non-dual meditation. Alright, so just one concluding remark before we go into question answer. The whole purpose of these few days was to create a taste for this text, for non-duality, for Advaita Vedanta. But this is not the teaching of Aparokshanubhuti. One must go through the whole thing. Now if you feel encouraged by this, then the text is, you have all got the text, and actually lectures are available online on YouTube. The whole text, shloka by shloka, has been explained. And such texts are meant to be gone through again and again. In the very beginning you see, muhur muhur. Again and again you must dwell on this. So, shloka number 2 is muhur muhur. Vikshaniya muhur muhur. Study it with a penetrating intelligence, examine it, moment to moment or regularly. Now you may not repeat this text regularly, you might get bored of it. But repeat other texts. There is Vivek Chudamani, Aparokshanubhuti is there, Atma Bodha is there, Dvidrishya Vivek, many Panchadashi is there, so many are there. And they all, you need not worry that you will get confused because they all tell you the same thing. Now, Moti Baat, in Hindi there is a nice term, Moti Baat kya hai? Moti Baat tum hi Brahm ho. And that, they all tell you that. And they tell you that in 100 different ways. So you will not get bored. Along with this, one must, this is optional, study of these things. What is not optional for a Vedantin is study of Gita. Gita, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra, Prasthantraya. If one cannot do that, at least Gita. At least Gita. I have seen many devotees and sadhus, they study Kathamrita and Gita, daily reading. Kathamrita and Gita, or alternatively Gita and Gita. So, I pray to Sri Thakur, Ma Swamiji, to bless all of us who are here today participating in this retreat. May we develop Viveka, Vairagya, Bhakti, and may our lives become blessed. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Short Q&A. So please come up here. Come. Yes, please tell us your name and ask the question.
Pranam Maharaj. I'm Ravichandran from Chennai.
Yes.
This Nidhyasana part is clear. Like, you said it can be done even while working in... with
all right. Quieten down, yes.
With eyes open when
yes.
you work, or even while working, before that you can say sloka or whatever. But if we decide to do it, like with eyes closed, say, can you suggest a practical method? Say, for example, suppose I try to do it, say, in the morning 5 o'clock with eyes closed.
Yes.
So what is that? I mean, we should suggest that, I am not the world, I am not the body, I am not the mind. And then, neti principle, and then...
Yes. So, for example, it can be done with eyes closed, can be done with eyes open. If you ask suggestion, do it with eyes closed. Eyes open is not so easy. It can be done later. With eyes open, not so easy in the beginning. And the eyes open, you get immediately involved. You get sucked in by the world. And a neuroscientist was saying, the moment our eyes open, a great deal of our cognitive capacity is taken up by the visual cortex. That's why anything, when we want to concentrate, we close our eyes. You want to listen to music, you naturally close your eyes. Often. You want to think deeply about a mathematics problem or something, you close your eyes and you think. You want to pray deeply to God, you close your eyes and pray. It becomes natural, because otherwise the eyes open, lot of other activity goes on. Eyes closed and sitting. So meditation is good in a sitting, not walking around. Certainly not walking around with eyes closed. There is a story, old story, that this Akshapada, Gautama, whom I mentioned, the Nyaya Sutra, today in the morning we are saying he developed the Nyaya system. So the story goes that the Gautam Muni, he was going to meditate. He got bored of meditating, sitting, so he thought, I'll walk and meditate. So he started walking and meditating. And naturally what will happen in the Himalayas, if you start and walk and meditate, he tripped over and fell. then on a rock, and he became very angry. And he said, I will curse the Himalayas. I'll curse the Himalayas, become flat. So Himalaya and all the devatas, they rushed to Vishnu, as they usually do in all these stories. Please save us. This Rishi is telling he will make everybody flat. This whole entire Himalaya, just imagine everything here becomes flat. So Vishnu went and told Gautam Muni that, Munivar, aap baith ke dhyan kijiye. Aap sit down and meditate. Why walk around? And Gautam Muni was, he was like, kahan likha hai? Where is it written that I have to sit and meditate? Later on in Brahma Sutra it has come, one sutra is there, Asino Sambhavat. It is possible while sitting only. Meditation is possible while sitting. Anyway, I will walk and meditate. What will you do? And if the Himalayas trip me over, then I will curse them. They will become flat. Then finally, Vishnu gave one eye in the foot of Gautama. So that's why Gautama's name is Gautama Akshapada, the one who has eye in the foot. It's a very fancy story to explain that name. But anyway, the point is, sitting meditation is better. How will you practice? Many techniques are there, like this one is there. One technique he suggested, while breathing in, you recollect or you notice that I am Brahman. Stay there in that I am Brahman. As you breathe out, say that this world is an appearance in me, the consciousness. As you breathe in again, I am Brahman. And stay there. And then when you breathe out, like that. That might be one technique. There are many other techniques. For example, you see any object, this one. This is from Drigdrishya Viveka. So, object. This is Vastu, Drishya. But the eyes are seeing the object. Now transfer your attention from the object to the eyes. Then close your eyes. I closed the eyes, that was noticed by the mind. Mind is Drashta, eyes become the Drishya. What is happening in the mind? I am aware of it. Consciousness reveals that movements of the mind. That consciousness is Sakshi. I am that Sakshi. Stay there. Then you notice the Sakshi is Asanga. The Sakshi is Satchidananda. Sakshi is Swaprabha, Swaprakasha. Dvaitavajjita. You notice that. Like that you stay. Or even something like Mano Buddhi Hankara Chitta, not a singing, actually noticing. I am not the mind. Why I am not the mind? We used 8 points. Therefore I am not the mind. I notice. I am not the buddhi, I am not the hankara, I am not the chitta, I am not the senses, I am not the body made of 5 elements. Therefore I am the consciousness to which all of these are appearing. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. Stay there.
Since a lot of us got the restlessness mind issue also, would you suggest maybe a mindful meditation or a yogic meditation maybe for 5-10 minutes before coming to the Advaitic meditation?
Now you realize why Sadhan Chatushtay, Shama, Dhamma, possible for whom? For a man or for a person who has got a quiet mind, a controlled body. So those are preliminary. Those are preliminary. So you can always use a mindfulness meditation before you go into non-dual meditation to calm down the mind.
Thanks, Maharaj.
Pranam Maharaj, my name is Partho. Thank you for guiding us through the knowledge of spirituality and basically motivating us for doing sadhana to realize God. Now my question is, like yesterday we had a discussion regarding what we are, what I am. Like I am different from my body, soul and Atman. Now today we had discussed about this consciousness is one. So my doubt is here that if consciousness is one and individually we are separate Atman and our...
No. Consciousness is one. Individually we are separate Atman. Where did that come from? That was not here. Outside syllabus.
No, individually we are also consciousness.
Individually your consciousness, or individually your consciousness limited by mind and body. When you say individually we are consciousness, or individually we are individuals with consciousness, what are you saying?
We are individual with consciousness.
Yes.
So our karma of this consciousness or of this life gives us the result in the next life also. It carries forward. So if the consciousness is one, how the individual consciousness,
Again, individual consciousness you are saying. Individual with consciousness. Anyway, you go on, finish the question.
how that means if it is one, then how it gets translated into the next life of the others.
All right. So this is a good question, and I'll explain it at two levels. One level, जो साधारण गप है, वेदांत गप है. So it's a story. Don't take it too seriously, but this is what the answer you will get in all the books. Basic Vedanta book. When you start Vedanta, you will study a book like Vedanta Sar, which will give you the whole story. The story is nothing but that pot and water, which we just discussed today. You know how the karma, the samskaras and memories and personalities is transferred to the next life. I gave the example. Pot is broken, but the water will be poured into a new pot. So water with whatever was there in that water, all the dirt which was there, whatever it has got, it will go out to the next new pot. Similarly, the subtle body, Sukshma Sharira, when we die, the physical body dies, the subtle body doesn't die. That will transmigrate. This is called Utkramana. Transmigration means going from this body to some other existence. It will continue. तो वही है जिसको हम लोग भूत कहते हैं. Bodiless, subtle body. Physical body minus physical body, subtle body only. Karan Sharir also. So that will go to another birth, another physical body. And that carries with it the reflected consciousness. So it feels like an individual. I am this person. And that carries the impressions of all past births. The subtle body is going from birth to birth to birth. So all samskaras are being transmitted by that. That is how it goes from lifetime to lifetime. Until it reaches enlightenment in one last birth. Then when that physical body dies, that subtle body also, it goes back to nature. The Mundaka Upanishad says. The physical body goes back to the world, nature. Subtle body also is made of materials. It goes back to nature. You remain as Brahman. That's the story. Lekin it's only a story. It's not real. Then what's the reality? When one becomes enlightened, it's not that one realizes, oh, for many lifetimes I've been going around, lifetime to lifetime. I am going from this body to that body, and then now I finally got moksha, no more lifetimes, this is my last life. Not like that. One will realize, I have always been free. Advaita Vedanta says, the moment you become enlightened, you will realize this consciousness which I am, my real nature, Brahman, Atman, has always been free. It was never born. It never died. There is no karma at all. There is no punarjanma at all. That's what you will realize. But not before that. You can't say it before that. Then the question, how was I going till now from lifetime to lifetime? I was not going from lifetime to lifetime. This story I have told sometimes, that one of our sadhus, again here in Uttarkashi it happened, one of our sadhus, he was very concerned with ek janma ya punarjanma. So in Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, we all say that there are many lifetimes, janma janmantarvad. We have come through many lifetimes, and until we get moksha, we will have many more lives. But Islam, Christianity, Judaism, they all say one life. You have been born, before that you did not exist. You have been born, you exist now. When you will die, after that you will exist eternally. Maybe some in hell or heaven or somewhere. That's it. So one life. So ek janma ya punarjanma. Which one is true? So this Mahatma Ji, our sadhu, he had many arguments. Finally, he took it to one great non-dual teacher, Vedantin, in the nearby ashram. So the Swamiji went and asked that master, so Mahatma Ji, ek janma ya punarjanma? Then that sadhu said, Are Mahatma Ji, jab janma hi nahi to punarjanma kahe ka? Aap Mandukya padhiye. So he said the real answer, not ek janma ya punarjanma, both are ignorance. When you realize that you are Brahman, you will realize you have not been born also. Suppose you go through many lifetimes in a dream and then you wake up. Did you go through many lifetimes or one lifetime in a dream? Neither. It was a dream. That's the actual answer. from an Advaitic perspective.
So that means, as per Advaitic perspective, there is nothing, karma is nothing.
Not nothing. Brahman is. The moment you realize it is all Brahman, then from that perspective, karma is nothing. Not right now. They did terrible misunderstanding then. Then, aap to phas jaoge.
Thank you.
If you give up, this is the danger of Advaita Vedanta. Danger is to go to the ultimate perspective immediately. I am Nirguna Brahman. So, theek hai. Then I will not do any sadhana. I will do whatever I like. No, that is not possible. In that case, if you do that, you will suffer the consequences. Sri Ramakrishna, when he said there is no free will, then somebody said, then we will do whatever we like. We will not suffer from the results. And Sri Ramakrishna himself immediately said, Lanka ke liye jhal lagbe na. If you eat chilies, your tongue will burn. So, ultimate perspective is to be realized. And then it works for you. But not for others. Only for you at that time. Because you are one with Brahman. From Brahman's perspective, it is fine. But from the Jiva perspective, everything is necessary. I'll tell you a story about everything is necessary. Otherwise, what will happen? You will be remaining, Majhadhar mein reh jayega. Have I told you the story? No. It happened to me. So I was in Gangotri, staying and doing meditation and whatever, study, whatever I could, and going to the Annakshetra for food. Now I have the habit of taking tea, coffee in the morning. It's not available there. So one sadhu, I told him, he said, Acha, chai pina hai aapko? Theek hai. I'll tell you in Hindi because it happened in Hindi. तो ये सामने आश्रम है, यहाँ सुबह सुबह चाय बनती है, वो चले जाइए, वहाँ चाय मिलेगा आपको. At 8 o'clock if you go. Other sadhus don't come out until the Annakshetra opens and gives food. Directly lunch, 9:30, 10. So lunch is at 10 o'clock, dinner is at 4 p.m. there. So tea is at 8 o'clock in the morning, in one ashram, in only one ashram. He said, you go there, you will get tea. So I went there. I did not know that it was only for beggars. No sadhu goes there. And there it's very difficult to distinguish between Mahatma and beggars. The beggars there are called Fakkad. So beggars, they also wear gerua. So it's difficult to distinguish. They will also give you a lot of spiritual gyan also. But they are not sadhus. They come there seasonally when the Tirtha Yatris come to get bhiksha, money. So I went. I saw some people looking like sadhus. Little rough crowd sitting there on a rock in front of the ashram. So I also went and sat. A group of people. After some time I asked, chai kab milegi? So, jaiye puchiye. So I went in. And by looking at me, they thought, padha likha kuch hoga. And the person in the ashram, someone was actually preparing the tea. He said to me, हाँ क्या चाहिए? I said, चाय कब मिलेगी? Oh, चाय के लिए. चलो बाहर जाओ, बाहर खड़े रहो. Then he thought he is one of those beggars. So ठीक है. I went outside. Then I sat and listened to the beggars talking. One beggar was complaining to the chief beggar, CEO of the beggars. All true story. He was complaining. अरे जानते हैं कल वो धंधे के समय, at the time of our daily profession, begging, we are all sitting in a queue. And that particular beggar, they're complaining. Among beggars also politics goes on, and so backbiting and criticizing. In universal, not just in multinational corporation, in beggars also. So that beggar, आपको पता है धंधे के समय अखबार पढ़ता है. दाता क्या सोचेगा? So in the middle of begging, he's reading a newspaper. Nowadays they must be seeing mobile, but in those days, newspaper. What will the donor think? And the others were saying, very bad, very bad. और इतना ही नहीं, जब दाता ने आके दिया, everybody got 1 rupee, and then the donor said, सबको मिला है, ये हाथ उठाया, बोला हमको नहीं मिला, मिला था, हम देख रहे हैं उसको, मिला था. और दूसरा, he took 1 more rupee, 2 rupees. तो क्या होगा इसका? Then the chief beggar, he said, he shook his head and said, कभी पार नहीं होगा भवसागर, मझधार में रह जाएगा. So that is the point. If I say I am Nirguna Brahman, so that's it, I've understood. No need to do any Vedanta, no need to do any Japa, no need to do any Tirtha Yatra, no need to maintain Satya, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya, it's all fine. I am Brahman, nothing matters. Majhdhar mein reh jayega. Kabhi bhavsagar paar nahi hoga. Good, that's the answer.
Thank you.
Pranam Swamiji. I'm Neeta. I have been studying Advaita from a senior nun of the Sarda mission. And when she was quite old and she could not teach us, she said, we used to go for retreats, she said, there's a young sadhu, Sarvapriyananda, now continue your study through her talks. So you have been my constant companion for several years now. So the one thing we talked was about dharana, is to have the a constant reminder of what you just talked about. My question is about text. Is there some one text which I can continue to use daily? You just talked about Gita, but it's a very lengthy text. But is there something shorter that I could use?
Yes. For you, because you have been studying Vedanta for a while.
Yeah.
So for those who have been studying Vedanta for a while, Shravana Manana more or less is done. Now you have to stay with it. You know what it means, what it's pointing towards. Moment you say Aham Brahmasmi, you know what it means. For many it's just words, but for you it's not a word. You know what it means. For you now, there are these texts, simple texts, which have been composed by Shankaracharya and many others also. They are, you might call them Nididhyasana texts.
Okay.
Brahma Jnana Valimala,
Okay.
Ashtavakra Gita, Avadhuta Gita,
Okay.
Nirvana Shatakam, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. But when you chant them, when you read them, they are simple and repetitive. They are bringing you back to the same point again and again and again. There are no arguments there.
Okay.
Ashtavakra, one author introducing Ashtavakra, he says, when all the texts have been written, when all the philosophers and saints have had their say, and everybody falls silent, then Ashtavakra begins. And what words? They are words like luminous words like light. They barely appear on the page before they disappear into light. What beautiful introduction he says. So these are called Nididhyasana texts.
Okay.
Anybody can read them, but they will make sense more beneficial for those who have studied Vedanta for a long time, along with sadhana, with japa, dhyana, simple inward life. You're a sadhika, you've been studying Vedanta, hold on to one or two favorite Nididhyasana texts. Dasha Shloki of Shankaracharya. It's also known as Nirvana Dashakam. Okay. So, Nirvana Shatakam, famous one, Mano Buddhi Hankara Chittani Nam, that Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. Shiva Kevaloham, that the Shiva Kevalo Avashishta, that one is Dasha Shloki. 10 verses. But they have all been composed for this purpose only.
Okay. And the second text that I wanted to know was that sometimes there is a great difficulty in understanding Sanskrit words and concepts like we've been discussing. Is there some sort of a dictionary that one can use for English or Hindi translation of these
By now you
concepts?
must have picked up some sufficient amount of Sanskrit. See, when you are progressively studying Vedanta, at one point you should have or you should pick up basic Sanskrit.
Okay.
For a serious sadhaka, now
No,
this
I'm
might be
learning,
bad. Say, can't you do it in English? You can. I think you can, but it's not difficult. These days, it's not difficult to pick up. You know basic Sanskrit. So if you want technical meanings, then ordinary Apte dictionary will not help you. So in that case, you need to know things like say Vedanta Sara, for example, which defines the meanings.
Yes, definitions. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Pranam Maharaj, I am Ankita from Kolkata. According to the story of the pot and the sun, if the water in the pot get impure, then the pot is also impure. Then the reflected consciousness also is not clear.
Yes.
If I pour that impure water into a new pot, then that pot is also get impure.
Sure.
And the reflected consciousness is also not clear there.
Sure.
Then how to purify that consciousness?
How to purify? Not the consciousness. Consciousness is always
how
pure.
to purify
Notice,
the water,
you're
the
saying
pot,
the
as
pot
well
is
as
not pure, the water is not pure, and reflected consciousness becomes obscured. The consciousness, sun is always clear in the sky. It is not affected by the pot or the water. It does not even know that there is a pot or water. So, purification of the subtle body, Sukshma Sharira, that is 80% of spiritual life. 80% of spiritual life is called Chitta Shuddhi. And for that, most spiritual practices are for that. First and foremost, moral life. Basically, satya, ahimsa, and control of the senses, of sense control, of disciplined life. After that, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, and regular meditation, all of them help in chitta shuddhi. Specifically, karma yoga is supposed to give chitta shuddhi. Bhakti yoga and Raja yoga are supposed to give ekagrata in a traditional Advaitic format. Yeah. So all spiritual practices purify us. Basic purification, moral life. Struggle to lead a moral life, that will lead to purification of mind. Then next, selfless life. Then next, devotional life. And focused and concentrated life. I'm just talking about the yogas. So this combination, and not one after another, together you try. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
she asked a very practical question about sadhana. Yes. Okay, you just tell me from there because we have run out of time.
I just want to follow what she said, that the impure water from the pot, suppose I add Ganga Jal to it. So will that impure water become pure? By
Yes, why
adding
not?
Ganga Jal?
If you keep on adding Ganga Jal, dilute the impurity. You can put a filter on it, but don't push the upama, the analogy, too far.
Yeah, but because there is a saying, আপনি যদি গঙ্গা জল অ্যাড করেন তাহলে কিন্তু ওটা ওটা ভীষণই ইমপিওর হয়ে যায় গঙ্গা জল নাকি এটাকেও নাকি
No, don't worry about all that. It's not about pot or water, Ganga water. It's the purity or impurity of the mind, basically.
I understand.
So, when you connect it to something pure, a pure source, you go to sadhu sangha, you go to an ashram, be a part of a group of sadhakas, devotees. All of them purify us. One of the most powerful purifications is the company of holy people. Sadhak jara. Sadhus, householders, whoever is sadhak, to keep company with them. If not that, holy thoughts, reading, that's why reading holy books. All of these are very purificative.
But what about service? I think I give a lot of stress to service.
Absolutely, you're absolutely most powerful. Most powerful.
Because since I am a social worker, I think.
Oh, good. That is your swadharma then. And that is a wonderful arena, field for doing good to society and purification of the mind. Most powerful, most powerful. With that, let us conclude. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My devoted pranams to Maharaj. We will take a short tea break now and we will try to return back in 10 minutes. And then we will have a feedback session followed by pranam of the acharyas. So please be quick in having your tea and come back.